Hey guys, welcome to the AFL Round 8 Saturday Games Best Bets video. I'm going to go through my three favorite plays for the AFL on Saturday. Two line bets and one same game multi of the player props. Starting with the early game, Sydney versus GWS. This is a really good game. Both sides in great form this season, both sitting on 24 premiership points. If we look through the stats for both sides, they're both averaging 104 or more points per game, number 1 and 2 in the league. Pretty much the top two attacking sides. Sydney are currently the number 2 defensive side in points conceding just over 70 points a game. GWS not that far behind, averaging 78 points conceded. And as we look through the numbers and the efficiency ratings, both sides very efficient going forward and efficient in defense. So it's a very close game. Both sides match up against each other really well. The game is going to be played in most likely wet conditions with the rain around in Sydney. And for that, like earlier on in the week, I was considering going the Swans to win, and I still do like that. I think they do win this game. However, with the wet conditions expected, most likely to be a low-scoring game. For those reasons, I'm going to take either team to win by 1 to 24 points. That's $1.70 at Ned. So either team can win by up to 24 points. I think Swans do win the game for the sake of tipping who I think is going to win. Just on the back of their defense, but wouldn't surprise me at all if the Giants got up by 1 to 10 margin as well. So that's how I'm going to play that matchup, especially in the wet conditions. That's really the main thing that led me to that. But numbers-wise, the teams are very even. Next game, St Kilda versus North Melbourne. This is a pretty ugly game. St Kilda in desperate need of a win. You could say the same thing for North Melbourne as well, I guess. St Kilda should win this game. They're about $1.10, $1.12 to win on the head-to-head betting. There's obviously no real value in anything like that, but St Kilda should win. How I'm looking at playing this game is going to take advantage of some player props. Both sides, these are the bottom two teams in the competition for the number of disposals they give up to opposition players. St Kilda give up the most at 375. North Melbourne next worst at 373. So we can definitely expect both teams to rack up the disposals and possessions. They're also ranked really low in both contested and uncontested possessions. So it's not just, they're giving up a lot of uncontested possessions. That's what's contributing to that number. And that's the reason why I want to look at the props for this game. So there's three players I'm going to take. The first of those is Luke Davies-Uniacke for North Melbourne to get 25 or more disposals. If we bring up his season averages, you'll notice here so far this season, he's only missed that number once across his 7 games and has also hit it in his previous 6 performances towards the second half of last season. So should comfortably go over this number, especially against the Saints, who give up the most disposals to the opposition. Next leg is Harry Sheezel to get 25 or more disposals, obviously playing in defense. The Bulls should be down there quite a bit. He's cleared this number in all 7 appearances this season and also in his past 10 games overall going back into last season, averaging 31 touches over the past 3 weeks. So those are the first 2 legs. And then looking in the St Kilda side, we're taking Jack Steele to get 20 or more disposals. Jack Steele down here has hit this number in the 6 of the 7 games last season. Missed it last week, only getting 15 disposals, but I think he can definitely bounce back here against North Melbourne. Jack Sinclair's the other player who likely get a lot of the ball. He's the player in this game who's averaging the most disposals across the last 30. At 28.1. He's had a couple of lean weeks recently, but just electing to go with Steele as in his previous 6 games to last week was getting 25 and more touches in all 6 of those games. And think, the 15 is a little bit out of character last week and he can bounce back this time around. These spreadsheets that you're looking at here with all the player stats going through the goals, disposals, fantasy points, etc., are all available on the Bet Finders through the link in the description. Now, looking ahead to the last betting game, coming up on Saturday. That is Melbourne versus Geelong. Another really good game, as I spoke about in the round preview. There's so many good games coming up this weekend. This matchup, I'm going with the Cats. Melbourne are the #1 defensive side in points conceded, but Geelong are averaging almost 100 points a game. Coming off a big performance last week against Carlton, they scored 118 points. I think they can get it done here against the Demons. This is a really good game, probably one, that there isn't really that much between the two sides, but just going like on the attacking side of things, definitely prefer Geelong in that category. I think they're much more capable of putting up a score. And even though, like, we come back up here, Melbourne are the #1 in points conceded. Geelong's not that far behind, ranked 4th. But if we look at the efficiency rankings, defensively, so opponent goals per inside 50 and scoring shots, Geelong are ranked 2 in the league in both of those categories. So to win this game, you're going to need to be a team that takes their chances when they go inside. And Geelong ranked 3rd in goals per inside 50 compared to 8th in the league for Melbourne, even though there's not that much between them on the actual stat of 26.6 to 24.1. I think Geelong are going to be good enough to win this game. So taking Geelong on the head-to-head, $1.77. Not all that much value, taking the -3.5 for the extra 13 cents. Just going to take the win odds there for Geelong. And just staying out of the West Coast Essendon game, I think it's a pretty low match. Essendon likely win. West Coast put together 2 wins at home before last week going to the Gold Coast and losing. They come back here, Harley Reid back into the team. Just want to wait and see, just see a couple more performances of West Coast. It's definitely a winnable game for them. This line for that matchup is a lot lower than their previous meetings. So they're not without a chance, but it is an important game for Essendon to win. Anyway, those are the 3 plays that we're going with for Saturday. If you're following along, good luck. Hope you guys have a great weekend. If you want to start using the stats and the data to make profits betting on the AFL and a lot of other sports, check out the Bet Finders. I put the link in the description so you can access all the tools and analytics I use when analyzing games to determine what bets I want to put on. Been building these for over 10 years and customizing them every season. And realistically, they're the reason I've been able to make a full-time income betting on sports, because pairing this with horse racing and that double combo has worked really well for me for over 12 years total now. And I started investor.bet a couple of years ago to help more people start doing the same thing that I've done over this time and take money off those betting companies.